this comment. But here's an idea for TLC, specifically referencing the interviews. Put them all on the same couch at the same time with Andy Cohen. So let's talk about this, because this is something that comes up a lot from people talking about their frustration with, we still call them the tell-alls, but they actually haven't been called the tell-alls for several years on Sister Wives. They've been called interviews. And they moved away from it. I think the fact that they stopped calling them tell-alls and moved away to like interviews just shows me they know they're not telling us all. They're very censored, especially Cody and Robin. I am trying to think if Mary, Janelle, and Christine have ever refused to answer the question. And the only one I can think of offhand was very early on. They asked about birth control, and the Cody said no, but the other women did too. And they said, it's just not something that I even know about my sister wives, so I wouldn't discuss it on TV. And that, to me, feels like kind of fair, because it's not something they discuss even within their family. But other than that, I don't know if I remember a time where any of the original OG3 have said, no, I refuse to answer question. Cody and Robin, on the other hand, Cody's refused many times. And not only does he refuse, he gets really mad about it. We saw it last season. During the look backs or the talk backs, we saw that. Robin doesn't really refuse to, but she just goes, oh, it's too much, and gets up and runs off. And it's always like a little eye rolly, because she has no problem being like, they did this and they did that, and I'm a great sister wife, but they're not. But like when it comes to, and I can't remember what the question was, I'm sure you do, but it wasn't even an accusation in and of itself. She couldn't handle it. But something that many people have brought up is like, what if they were all on the couch? They used to all be in the couch together. And I think it would be really interesting. I think there's a couple things that would happen. Is that I don't necessarily know that they would be more honest, because I think that there's always been some reservation. They want to do this and that. But I do think what might happen is an inability to control themselves from reacting. So if Cody says things like, I've always been fair, I could see Mary and Janelle rolling their eyes. I could see Christine being like, oh, hold on. And then I might see Janelle or Mary being like, wait a second. Like, I think Christine would be the most likely to confront Cody face to face. But then I could see Janelle or Mary, if Cody kept digging a hole, I could see them jumping in as well. But I'm not convinced that it would be like a million times better. Now, in terms of Andy Cohen, that's another factor that comes up. Would Cody behave differently with a man? Well, we know that the men, based on the few times that we have heard Cody push back on someone during a talking head interview, it was a man. So I don't necessarily know that just having a man would change the dynamics, but you cannot skip the fact that Cody does not respect women. Like, as a whole group, he doesn't respect them. I'm not even convinced that he really respects Robin very much, but he certainly respects her more. I think he doesn't like his 3 original wives. We know he's part of a manosphere. I kind of feel like I knew that before he said it, but I was so glad that he said it, because now we have proof he's part of the manosphere, which is like a men's right. Women's have too many rights. That kind of, there's a variation from just absolutely the worst thing you've ever heard said, like incels and women owe men things. I won't get into it because I don't want to get demonetized. But I also think, additionally, he doesn't like us. I don't just mean me as a content creator, but I think he means us as in like women who watch the show, because they've gotten a lot of pushback. And I think he's like, oh, women watch this show and women are dumb. And my ex-wives are women. I think he sees Robin as maybe being a standout, but I think it still comes through. I think even his daughters, Robin's daughters that he has with her, adopted or biological, I think he also doesn't necessarily value them very much either. That's just my opinion. I would certainly like TLC to try to get them all in the same room, because there's 2 ways this could go. We could just do more of the everyone stand around and be polite to each other's face, or it would go downhill quickly. I'd certainly like to run an experiment and find out how it went, but I don't think it's a guarantee. But I'd certainly, like I said, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see them try.